This is Lesson 9 of GravelStyle 5. In this lesson, we'll learn how to use GravelStyle's 2D engraving feature to engrave our work with our vector outlines filled. We'll use the finished logo that we vectorized and edited in Lesson 7, and when we're finished, our completed job will look like this. Some of the concepts we'll learn in this lesson are how to engrave a job with a 2D fill, how to preview the fill in the WYSIWYRE screen, and how to preview the actual toolpaths that the cutter will make in the machining preview window. Our job specifications are that the logo will be the finished Colt logo from Lesson 7. The plate will be 8 inches by 8 inches with a 1/4 inch margin all around. The material will be GravelPly 2 with a red cap over a white core, and the logo size and position will be 6 inches wide, centered vertically and horizontally on the plate. Let's begin. We'll start with the logo that we edited in Lesson 7. Our first task will be to resize it so that it's 6 inches wide. We'll select it. We'll grab a corner handle, click the left mouse button, and we'll begin dragging. Before we release the left mouse button, we'll press the F2 key on the keyboard, and the scaling dialog box will open. In it, we'll set our width to exactly 6 inches. We'll make sure that the Keep Ratio box is checked to preserve the ratio between the height and the width, and we'll click OK, and our resizing is done, again with precision. The F2 key gives us a powerful shortcut. If we press it while dragging almost any object, a similar dialog window will open to allow us to resize or move with precision. Don't be afraid to explore the F2 key's use. Now we'll center our logo on our plate. We'll find the Alignment Tools icon, click on it, and the Alignment Tools palette will open. It includes tools that allow us to align objects relative to each other, or to change spacing between objects relative to each other, and in our case, tools to allow us to center vertically and horizontally within our job. We'll click both of these tools, and our logo is centered. We're ready to specify our cutting tool and our style of engraving. We'll open the Machining Tools window. Make sure that Tool 0, or the black tool, is selected to match the color of our unselected contours, and click Properties. We'll be engraving on GravelPly 2, and so we'll set the appropriate cutting depth of 3/1000 of an inch. Now we'll scroll down to find the GravelPly cutting tools. We'd like to use as large a tool as feasible to speed up the removal of material from within our fill. As a first try, we'll select the 90/1000 tip diameter. Up until now, we've been doing all of our engraving in outline or plotting engraving. But now we'll try 2D to make our fill. We have two choices, 2D on surface and 2D on bottom. The difference between them is where our engraving remains faithful to our logo on the plate. 2D on surface remains true to the logo on the surface of the material, and this is normally the style that we would choose for almost all of our engraving. We'll select it. Now we have two choices for the fill. Island fill, which follows the contours of each vector, and hatch fill, which fills in straight lines. Hatch fill is usually reserved for diamond drag engraving. For actual cutting into the material, we would normally specify island fill. Why? Island fill gives us fewer reversals of the tool and speeds up our engraving. We'll stay with island fill. We'll keep the recommendation of Gravel Style of 50% of tool diameter as the overlap from pass to pass, and we'll click OK. Let's open the WYSIWYRE screen to see how our job will really engrave. It looks like our choice of a 90 thousandths tip diameter for our cutter was a little too large. The corners of the T and the L are too rounded. On the top toolbar, we'll find the engraving width value tool, and we'll open it. It tells us that the engraving width of each pass of the cutter is 93 thousandths. Why the extra 3 thousandths? That's because the tool is tapered, and as we sink deeper into the material, our cut gets wider. Let's try the effects of a smaller tool, say 40 thousandths. We'll keep the same 3 thousandths depth allowance and click OK, and we can see that the corners are much sharper. What are these white spaces? Well, a smaller cutting tool will require more passes in doing the fill, but WYSIWYRE does not make this adjustment. We'll close WYSIWYRE, reopen the Machining Tools window, and change the cutting tool to 40 thousandths, and re-enter WYSIWYRE. Now we can see that the fill is complete, and the corners are acceptably sharp. While we're still in WYSIWYRE, let's see how our job will actually look. We'll scroll down until we find Gravel Ply 365. We'll click on it, click OK, and this is how the finished engraving will appear. We're ready to send our job to the table. We'll click on the machining icon and make sure our settings are correct. We'll set a fast speed for the cutter and a medium speed for its up and down vertical motion. We'll make sure the spindle motor is on, and we'll make sure that the orientation of the job on our table is what we want. We'll make sure that the origin is correct, and as a last check before clicking the Run button, we'll click on the Preview button. Here's our logo, and here are the outside dimensions of our plate as it appears on the table. We can magnify this view, and we'll find that we can see the actual path of each and every pass of the cutter. We'll close the preview window and click on the Run button to actually transmit the job. This concludes Lesson 9.